Good morning, everybody. Um, I'd just like to check everybody can hear me. Thanks, Leon. Okay, so what has the influence been on COVID on brokers specifically? And I think everything flows over to the whole industry, but on us specifically, it's been a very uncertain year. We had to make decisions based of very very quick decisions based on the information that we had, and we had to change things that we never thought we would need to change. Um, and I think the biggest influence of COVID on our industry is just the effect that it had on people, still having on people. Um, it's expensive to keep people safe. All of us, all of the companies have just stupid thing like the hand sanitizers at the doors everywhere. Um, the way that we set up our production systems, we had to change that. People came in. We changed our shifts, so people came in. Some people came in earlier, so some people came in later. Um, Also remember that we work in a very highly skilled environment. So it's not like when you lose a person, and we've lost in our company, we've lost 4 people. In the wool industry, in our wool division specifically, we've lost 2, and both basically irreplaceable. And that's a big problem. Then just managing fear. People were afraid and still are afraid to come to work. And that's been a full time um, action in our business to make sure that people feel safe when they come to work. Working from home, we actually manage it quite quickly, I think. But still, some people work from home. Some people find it difficult to work from home. It's been a real challenge. And then the biggest thing, moving and canceling auctions. We had to move auctions to online. We had many of them online. Not an easy thing to have. In principle, we decided we would try to avoid that. But we did them. It's doable. It's not easy, but it's doable. And then moving auctions around according to what could be done. Which is also something. I think this must be the first time in our history ever that we decided to cancel an auction and move an auction from one week to the next. The other thing that's been difficult is logistics. Now, what's been happening is that China, and this is a current problem, China and specifically in South Africa, if you've got a harbor system that's not that efficient, then the ships pass you by. They don't they don't they don't stop in South Africa to load containers, and that's been a real challenge this past year. The other thing that we've been seeing is that consumers have been sitting at home and they've been thinking. And whereas 2 years ago we would have said that consumers are uh, um, they are aware of social uh, the social responsibility. All of a sudden, in this past year, a big part of our consumer market are suddenly aware of where they get their clothes from because they've got time. They're sitting at home, and this is playing a big role in our lives. We're seeing uh, this whole proliferation of standards in the world. In Australia, there are 19. In South Africa, there's 3 or 4 operating at the moment. Major ones operating. Um, we can see that certified wools, RWA certified wool. Certainly, we are now the biggest suppliers of that in the world, and that's growing at a steady rate. And if you look at the textile exchange, um, the growth of their standards in general, you'll see that it's growing at a significant rate. Just the other interesting thing that's happened is that the world is buying clothes again, and wool is quite cheap compared to the other um, fibers, textiles that's being sold in the world. And I think that's also a direct consequence of the pandemic. You can see the wool price in relation to synthetics. We're trading at about 5 times to synthetics, which is quite cheap. We should be around about 8, 9 times. So that, that gives me that tells me there's some upwards potential in wool. The only bad thing here is that if you look at really strong wools, of which South Africa is not a real big producer, but strong wool today is cheaper than synthetics and cheaper than cotton. And that that it doesn't seem like that will change in the foreseeable future. Um, so just to my last slide, wool prices have been going up a bit, especially the prices that we in South Africa is selling. But again, the strong wool prices just going one way. The one thing that the pandemic has done for us, it's not all of it has been bad, is that we all of us in the industry have been investing in technology, spending more time thinking about how we can make our lives easier. Blockchain, RFID, um, how can we make our logistics easier? So any troublesome time forces you to come up with new plans, and I think there are quite a number of new plans in the pipeline. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank